the best picture of Tower Bridge that you will get in London today. Anywhere else would charge you £5 or £10 on a postcard, but because we're nice, we've got some time. Okay, so Tower Bridge, as you may well know, it is a part bastille, part suspension bridge. So those centre bastilles, like you can see, they open up. And it's done by counterbalance. If you were to take away the bricks, it would still work exactly the same. It was just designed that way to match its neighbour, the Tower of London, which is just behind the boat at the moment. The centre bastilles, they do open up 90 degrees in under 90 seconds, and they do pause all of the traffic on the bridge. Okay, so there we go, Tower Bridge.
Thank you.
As I said, that was the best view that you'll probably get of Tower Bridge. Anywhere else, it will charge you £5 or £10. But now just over to your left-hand side, you might not be able to see it. It has just had a fresh coat of camouflage. It's London's very own warship, the HMS Belfast. Belfast was constructed in the same shipyard as the ill-fated Titanic. That's the Harlander. It's permanently moored up here today as an extension of the Imperial War Museum. But back in its day, she was one of the first ships to fire her guns in anger on D-Day. She also played a crucial role in protecting the Arctic convoy, which was Russia's supply route. And on board, you can go and visit her. There are about 9 decks to explore, so if you do want to go on board, I would suggest leaving yourself a few hours to have a good look around. Now just over to your left, you've got the Shard or the Shard of Glass, and it's Western Europe's tallest building. Western Europe's tallest building is about 310 metres tall. It's home to the 5-star Shangri-La Hotel, and it's also home to many luxury apartments and restaurants. There is a viewing platform up on the 72nd floor, but I will warn you, it's about £30 per person. But today I'm going to give you a tip. Just over to your right, you've got the curved building. That's the walkie-talkie building. Its official name is 20 Fenchurch Street, but they also have a viewing platform, except this one is free. All you have to do is go onto the Sky Garden website, and you can book online in advance, and you get the same exact view as you would over at the Shard for nothing. But now over to your left, you've got London Bridge Hospital. It's one of London's most private and most expensive hospitals, and it's only known for 2 things. That's broken bones and heart attacks, because you go in there with a broken bone, they give you the bill, and then you have the heart attack. Just in the gap in the buildings, you've got the monument to the Great Fire of London, and it's got a golden candle on the top. And it's said that if you reach the doors on Pudding Lane, where the fire first started in the bakery. We're just going underneath London Bridge. This is the famous one. If you don't believe me, it says it to the left and to the right. This is actually the 5th London Bridge to stand here. There have been 5 previous bridges. They've fallen down, they've burst down, just like the nursery rhyme. But the one previous to this was sinking into the mud. So they took it down brick by brick, and they sold it to an American man named Robert McCullough. He then bought it for £1.2 million. and reconstructed it over Lake Havasu in Arizona.
Oh my god, did that go in the water?
Now just over to your left, you've got a pirate ship in the dock. This is the original circumnavigated the globe between 1577 and 1580. So it took them 3 years to do so. And that replica has actually gone round the globe twice. So it's done more than the original, and it's actually preparing to go for a third time. The Golden Hind was originally called the Pelican before it was renamed mid-voyage after Sir Francis Drake's patron, Christopher Hudson. A glass roof, but during the Second World War they removed the roof and stored it in a warehouse down in Kent, and this was to protect it from coming under German bombing. They were right, this bridge did get hit, but so did the warehouse, so the roof was also destroyed and they never bothered to put it back up. Over on your left, the most important thing I'd like to show you is the brown building with the red windows. That's the Anchor Tavern. It's been there for about 600 years, so it's one of the oldest pubs in London, and it's said to be where William Shakespeare used the attic for a dressing room when he later performed at the Globe Theatre. It's also said to be where Charles Dickens wrote many of his novels. It's also where you'll find myself and the captain later on this evening conducting the research that we have to do for this very commentary. Sometimes we're in there for so long that we forget what we researched and we have to go back the next day. Now just on your left hand side ahead of the boat, you've got the white brown building with the thatched roof. This is the replica of William Shakespeare's Rose and Globe Theatre. As I said, the original one stood slightly further back by the anchor, but this one is the replica, and it's the only building in London to still have a thatched roof. After the Great Fire of London in 1666, thatched roofs were made illegal. Now you can still go and see some plays performed here in the summer months, but they are performed in the traditional manner. So there's no stage lighting, there's no microphones, and there's also no roof. So if you go on a day when it's raining, you will get wet. Now just sticking onto your left hand side, you've got the old Bankside Power Station. It's now the Tate Modern, which is a modern art gallery. And as you can see at the top, it does say free and open to all. Now if you are interested in modern art, then it's a great day out, it's free. But if you're not so interested in modern art, you'll understand why it's free. But now just over to your right, you've got the new City of London School for Boys. Do we have any Harry Potter fans on board? Yeah, quite a few. So that's where Harry Potter went to school. It's very private, it's very expensive. So if my kid went there, I'd want him to leave with magic powers as well. Finest beaches. This is the South Bank Riviera. The South Bank actually stretches all the way back from Tower Bridge, where we started our journey, and it stretches all the way down to the London Eye. And you can walk along the South Bank. It will take a couple of hours. Blackfriars Bridges. The first one is the railway bridge, and the second is the road bridge. So these are the only two bridges to stand this close together on the whole Thames. So we've given it the name, the Tunnel of Love. So as you go through, you turn to a loved one, you give them a kiss, and it's supposed to grant you 5 years of happiness. Don't worry, if you're not with a loved one, and you are just with your husband or your wife, it works exactly the same. We're just going underneath the road bridge, and this is actually where the Romans first called fresh water Messina. We later discovered it was in fact a lot further down the river. So just on your right, you've got the building with the green sloped roof. Now that's the old City of London School for Boys, and many greats have been there. Our wartime Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, that's where he went to school. Now just on your left, ahead of the boat, you've got the building with the red bricks. That's the Oxo Tower, a free advertisement along the banks of the River Thames. This is because when they went to port, The architect said that it was merely a coincidence that those letters at the top spelled out the company name. It's a royal highway, so you're not allowed to advertise on the River Thames. So you'll see no McDonald's signs, no KFC signs. That is the only one, and they've had free advertisement for many years. And it's got the face of old Father Thames on it. This is actually a boundary marker, and it signifies that we are leaving the City of London and entering the City of Westminster. Just on the right hand side, you've got the black and white barge, the St Catherine. This is an old former royal barge. So if any royalty were to visit the River Thames, we would put them on that boat. Nowadays there's a much grander, fancier boat. It's called the Gloriana, and it's kept slightly downriver in St Catherine's Dock. So when King Charles or Prince William and Kate, they come to visit London, we put them on the grander Gloriana. But when Harry and Meghan come to visit, we just put them on that boat. Now just over to your right, you've got the building with the green dome in the centre. This is the old Somerset House, dominantly female workforce. And it's the longest bridge to span the River Thames at 1/4 of a mile long. And it's the only bridge on the River Thames to be completed on time and under budget. So I think that deserves a round of applause for our ladies. Now you might want to get your cameras out for this, because just over to your right you've got the oldest thing that you'll see in London today, and it's that large stick of rock. It's not any stick of rock, it's older than the City of London itself. There is a twin to that needle, and it stands in Central Park. Just over on your right hand side you've got the Tattershall Castle. It's also known as the Pub on the Thames. Now the Pub on the Thames originally was an art gallery, and it was only here a very short amount of time. It didn't make a lot of money. So what they did is they turned it into a floating pub, and it actually made more money. So if you are leaving us here, just make sure you have all of your belongings with you. That's your phones, cameras and children. Please take your children with you, not just the good ones. Now just a word about the commentary. As I said in the beginning, I'm not a professional tour guide, if that wasn't painfully obvious enough. I am just a member of the crew, and I'm here for your safety. So if you have enjoyed it, or you've learned something new on your cruise today, then with me by the exit will be a silver bucket. And you can chuck in a token of appreciation, if you so wish to do so. It is on a voluntary basis, just as this commentary was as well. You can chuck in a couple of bob. If you don't know what a couple of bob is, if you have a bus ticket, you can get off here and get it from the top. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. I'll be by the exit, but it's been a pleasure to speak to you guys. Have a good time in London.